What you're about to see will make you question everything you thought you knew about WWE's power structure. Last night on Raw, the wrestling world witnessed the most brutal and calculated attack we've seen in years, and if you think this was just another backstage brawl, you're dead wrong. Brock Lesnar didn't just attack Bron Breakker, he destroyed the future of WWE in front of our very eyes, and the company's silence about it is absolutely disgusting. This wasn't wrestling, this was a message, and that message should terrify every upcoming superstar in that locker room. WrestlePalooza was supposed to be Bron Breakker's moment. The second-generation superstar had just delivered what many are calling a career-defining performance, cementing himself as the next face of WWE's new era. But apparently, somebody didn't get that memo, and that somebody was the Beast incarnate himself. Here's what WWE doesn't want you to know. Sources backstage are telling us this attack was weeks in the making. This wasn't some spur-of-the-moment decision by Lesnar. This was a calculated assassination of Breakker's momentum, orchestrated by people who felt threatened by his meteoric rise. Think about it, when was the last time you saw Brock Lesnar show up on Raw unannounced? When was the last time he targeted someone who wasn't already established as a main event player? Never. But here he was, hunting down a rising star like a predator stalking prey. The footage is absolutely sickening. Breakker was walking through the backstage area, still riding high from his WrestlePalooza performance, when out of nowhere, German suplex into the concrete wall. But Lesnar wasn't done, oh no, he was just getting started. F5 onto the equipment crates. Another German suplex through the catering table. And the most disturbing part? Lesnar's face showed zero emotion throughout this entire assault. This wasn't rage, this was business, and that makes it 10 times more terrifying. Security tried to intervene, but let's be real, who's going to stop Brock Lesnar when he's in full beast mode? 3 security guards got tossed aside like rag dolls before finally retreating and calling for backup that took way too long to arrive. But here's where this story gets really interesting, and why WWE is trying to control the narrative around this incident. Multiple sources are now confirming what we suspected all along: this attack had corporate fingerprints all over it. You see, Bron Breakker represents something that certain people in WWE's power structure find very threatening. He's young, he's incredibly talented, he has legitimate amateur wrestling credentials, and most importantly, he doesn't need their permission to get over with the fans. That independence makes him dangerous to the established order. Word backstage is that certain executives have been furious about Breakker's organic popularity with the WWE Universe. They can't control his narrative the way they control other superstars, and that scares them. So what's the solution? Send in their most reliable weapon to cut him down to size. Let's talk about the elephant in the room: Brock Lesnar's role in all this. For years, we've been told that Lesnar is this unpredictable force who does whatever he wants. But look at his recent actions and tell me this isn't the behavior of someone following very specific orders. Every major attack, every surprise appearance, every career-altering moment involving Lesnar has served one purpose: protecting WWE's established hierarchy. He took out rising stars before they could threaten the status quo, and now he's doing the same thing to Breakker. The most insulting part? WWE is trying to spin this as Lesnar being impressed by Breakker's performance at WrestlePalooza. Give me a break. Since when does Brock Lesnar show appreciation by putting someone through a table? This is textbook intimidation, plain and simple. What happened after the cameras stopped rolling is even more disturbing than the attack itself. Sources tell us that Breakker was left lying in the backstage area for several minutes before medical personnel were allowed to tend to him. Several minutes. Meanwhile, Lesnar calmly walked to his rental car and drove away without speaking to a single WWE official. No consequences, no disciplinary action, no explanation required. How's that for equal treatment? But here's the kicker: when Breakker finally made it to the trainer's room, he was reportedly told to keep quiet about certain aspects of the attack. Keep quiet about what exactly? What are they trying to do? This isn't the first time we've seen this playbook executed to perfection. Remember when certain other rising stars got mysteriously injured or sidelined just as their popularity was reaching critical mass? The timing is never coincidental. WWE has a long history of using accidents and unpredictable incidents to control storylines and manage talent momentum. But this attack on Breakker was so blatant, so obviously orchestrated, that even casual fans are starting to connect the dots. The wrestling world is finally waking up to the fact that these incidents aren't random acts of violence, they're strategic moves in a corporate chess game where superstars are just disposable pieces. Within hours of this attack, social media exploded with fan outrage. The hashtag Justice for Bron was trending worldwide, with fans demanding answers and accountability. But then something very interesting happened. Certain posts started getting mysteriously deleted or suppressed. Independent wrestling journalists who tried to report on the backstage details of this incident suddenly found their access credentials under review. Coincidence? I don't think so. This is damage control at its most obvious. Even more suspicious, several WWE superstars who initially posted supportive messages for Breaker quickly deleted those posts. What kind of pressure were they under to stay silent about this obvious injustice? Let's be clear about who really suffers when WWE plays these corporate power games. It's the fans and the superstars who dare to be authentic. Bron Breakker worked his entire life to get to this moment, only to have it stolen by a manufactured controversy designed to put him in his place. But it's not just Breakker who's being victimized here. Every young superstar in that locker room now knows exactly what happens when you get too popular too fast without corporate approval. The message is crystal clear: stay in line or face the consequences. The saddest part? This attack robs the WWE Universe of what could have been an incredible natural storyline between two legitimate athletes. Instead, we get this manufactured drama designed to serve corporate interests rather than entertain the fans. Mark my words, this attack on Bron Breakker is going to have massive repercussions throughout the entire WWE roster. Superstars are already walking on eggshells, afraid that showing too much personality or connecting too strongly with fans might make them the next target. This corporate intimidation tactic might work in the short term, but it's going to backfire spectacularly. Fans aren't stupid, they can see what's happening, and they're getting sick of having their favorite superstars manipulated and controlled by backstage politics. The wrestling business thrives on authentic moments and genuine emotions. When everything becomes calculated and controlled, when every storyline serves corporate interests instead of fan entertainment, the product becomes unwatchable. Here are the questions that WWE desperately hopes you won't ask. Why was Brock Lesnar backstage at Raw when he wasn't scheduled to appear? Who authorized this attack? Why did security take so long to respond? What were the specific instructions given to Lesnar before this incident? Most importantly, what are they going to do to prevent this kind of corporate intimidation from happening again? Because make no mistake, if they can do this to Bron Breakker, they can do it to any superstar who threatens their carefully controlled narrative. The silence from WWE management is deafening. Not a single executive has taken responsibility for this obvious failure of duty of care. Not one person has explained how a part-time performer was able to brutally attack a full-time superstar without any consequences. This is where you come in. The WWE Universe has the power to demand better, but only if we stand together and refuse to accept this corporate bullying. Share this video, comment with your thoughts, and let WWE know that we're not going to stay silent about this injustice. Bron Breakker deserves better. The WWE Universe deserves better. And every superstar in that locker room deserves to know that their safety and career trajectory won't be sacrificed for corporate power games. The wrestling world is watching, and history will remember how we responded to this moment. Will we stay silent and allow this kind of backstage manipulation to continue? Or will we demand the accountability and transparency that the WWE Universe deserves? Here's the truth that WWE's corporate machine doesn't want you to realize: they're more afraid of losing control than they are of losing fans. They would rather have a predictable, controllable product than an exciting, unpredictable one that might challenge their authority. But here's what they forgot: the fans made WWE what it is today, and the fans can just as easily take that power away. When we stop accepting manufactured controversies and start demanding authentic entertainment, everything changes. This attack on Bron Breakker wasn't just an assault on one superstar, it was an attack on the very soul of professional wrestling. And if we don't fight back now, it's only going to get worse. The revolution starts with you. Comment below with your thoughts, share this video with every wrestling fan you know, and let's make sure this story doesn't get buried in WWE's corporate spin machine. The future of WWE depends on fans like you refusing to accept the unacceptable. Justice for Bron Breakker isn't just a hashtag, it's a rallying cry for everyone who believes that professional wrestling should be about the best performers rising to the top, not about corporate favorites being protected at all costs. This story is far from over. WWE thinks they can control this narrative, but they underestimated the power of the WWE Universe. Keep watching WWE Reporter for the exclusive updates they don't want you to see, because we're not backing down until the truth comes out. And trust me, based on what our sources are telling us, this Brock Lesnar situation is just the tip of the iceberg. There are bigger stories coming that will shock the wrestling world, and you'll see them here first. Smash that like button if you're as outraged as we are. Subscribe and hit the notification bell because WWE is going to try everything they can to suppress the story, and we need your support to keep bringing you the truth they don't want you to know. The wrestling world will never be the same after what happened on Raw, and neither will WWE's ability to hide behind corporate spin. The truth is coming out, whether they like it or not.